1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how I sync my audio. Amazing, right? Hello everyone, welcome to Tool Mushroom Village. Now, it's been a while actually since I've last recorded. I'm slightly rusty, as you can probably hear by my stammering just then. I'm a little bit out of practice. I've sort of forgotten how to do it, but yeah, it's sort of a curse, really. When I come up with a new project idea or something crazy and new I want to make, it's not like I can just, break away from it and do something else as a little bit of quiet release. No, I have my entire attention completely absorbed by this one project until it's finished through and through, it's released, and I have nothing really to do with it anymore. And unfortunately, that's what's been happening over the past few weeks. So I thought, rather than breaking off the flow that has been my mind for the past 3 weeks, why not capitalize it and make a video on the very thing that I've been obsessing over? And no real prizes for guessing. It's right in the center of my screen. You may remember a video I made recently about black holes. It was a brand new add-on that I made that adds black holes into your world with a little bit of functionality included. And hopefully I can demonstrate that now by punching a pig into the event horizon and killing him. And this is what I have been working on, trying to update it, because the original one was full of bugs and inconsistencies, and so I made it better by adding 20 new features. It's just the way my brain works. Now, I'm going to start right off at the very basics, as always, with the crafting recipe, and it hasn't changed. Hasn't changed since, really, but the only real difference is it now looks like it doesn't even produce an item at all because the item is so small. And actually, if I get this item out of my inventory, heck it, I'll craft all of them. There we go, 8. There is a tiny black hole in your world, and yeah, I mean, this is clearly quite a big change, because you can no longer get these enormous ones from the crafting recipe, you get these tiny ones instead. But it does mean that you can get 8 different sizes of black holes in your world now. And even though this crafting recipe only produces this tiny black hole, you can use a pretty cool feature that I also added to grow and shrink them, and that is particles and antiparticles. Particles and antiparticles. You get these things from blowing up some TNT. So I'll place some TNT on the ground and activate it like this. It doesn't behave very well under lag, so you've got to make sure you keep on top of that. But as you can see, we've got particles and antiparticles, and I pick those up, and you see that will happen just fine. It's got a lovely little Mojang looking texture there as well, which I'm extremely proud of. And the way you grow and shrink these black holes is by clicking on them when you hold these particles and antiparticles. If you click on the black hole holding a particle, then it will grow like that. You do obviously have to be careful because the event horizons are all still there. And if you want to make it shrink, then you click on it with the antiparticle and it will shrink through the sizes. I love how smooth this looks. I really, really do. This does seem a little bit frivolous, but actually it's a really good representation of how, well, Professor Stephen Hawking himself envisioned black holes shrink. Let's get into an animation. Thanks to the Big Bang at the start of the universe, space-time has been, for want of a better word, wobbling. These wobbles are called quantum fluctuations, and they constantly produce pairs of particles and antiparticles with positive and negative energy respectively. The particle pair annihilate each other in an instant unless they get separated across the black hole's event horizon. If the antiparticle crosses the event horizon but the particle doesn't, the black hole has no choice but to decrease in energy by an inconceivably small amount. This causes the black hole to shrink, since energy directly correlates to mass. The particles and antiparticles feature is, as I say, one of my favourite features of this entire add-on, and it's also very interesting, being, of course, the first items that can drop from TNT explosions. So I did get to work and I built this tiny little system that can convert TNT that you put in these dispensers here into a particle pair. And I'll demonstrate that now. I'm just hoping I set it up correctly from a screenshot, but let's just try this. There we go. Okay, so what's happening here, and I don't think I need to explain it this long because it's clearly not a part of the add-on itself. What's happening here is the TNT is falling onto the pressure plate, which is turning off this torch. This does nothing because dispensers only accelerate on the rising edge. The TNT all explodes at the same time, launching the particles and antiparticles into this hopper, which goes into this chest. Now, because the TNT is exploded and no longer on this pressure plate, the torch activates and fires all of these dispensers, summoning a new batch of TNT. The process basically repeats over and over and over again until there are no more TNT blocks in these dispensers, or you simply flick the lever, and that means that the pressure plate can't then re-trigger the torch. Again, super simple system. I like it a lot, and it produces quite a lot of particles and antiparticles very, very quickly, so long as you have a good supply of gunpowder and sand, both of which are materials that can be gotten quite easily. There is one real flaw with the fact that, you need to interact with the black hole itself in order to make it grow or shrink. You need to be standing quite far away, and the reach in survival mode is shorter than the one in creative mode, at least on mobile. I'm not sure about Windows 10. So I thought about how to make the player potentially immune to the black hole event horizon, and for that I thought exotic matter. Now, a quick disclaimer, really, exotic matter in real life is not going to be able to survive a black hole, at least the theory suggests not, but it's certainly an interesting and educational way of just sneaking something in there for you. Now, exotic matter is crafted with 1 water bucket and 8 blue ice. Like this, you put your water bucket in here and you surround it with blue ice, and you get 1 exotic matter and your bucket back, so don't worry there. Weird crafting recipe, but it's supposed to resemble a bit of exotic matter that we already have in real life. Now, exotic matter has a few different meanings, really. Exotic matter can be a particle or substance that behaves against the current laws of physics, or it can be a state of matter, for instance, that isn't encountered very often. In this case, we have the 5th state of matter, the Bose-Einstein condensate, which is produced by supercooling a gas of bosons to nearly absolute zero. Now, of course, I couldn't replicate absolute zero cooling in Minecraft, so the next best thing I thought was taking a liquid and cooling it a lot using blue ice. Now, when you hold exotic matter in your hand, you will be immune to the black hole's effects. As you can see, I can walk straight through this thing. I'm not taking any damage whatsoever. As soon as I swap to a different item, then I do indeed experience the effects. Of course, if you're holding exotic matter in your hand, then your hand's occupied and you can't use particles. I thought about this, don't worry, because you can hold exotic matter in your offhand slot. Now you can go right up against the black hole and grow it and shrink it however you please. Just make sure not to shrink it too much, black hole will disappear forever and you have to go and craft a new one. This exotic matter is also helpful for the next feature I want to talk about, wormholes. Wormholes. I added wormholes into this update. And yeah, so if you get out a black hole of any size, it really doesn't matter what size it is, but I'm going to go for R8 just for the sake of it. If you put this R8 black hole into your crafting grid, then it will produce one white hole, which you can then take out. Now, what should have happened really, and I did consider this, is you get the black hole back because the theory suggests that every black hole is a corresponding white hole. But there we are, you know. I wanted to make it expensive and balanced, so that is really, you know, cry more, to be honest. Now, white holes are a little bit weird in the way that they behave in this add-on. And I tried my best to negate some of them, but I'm just not experienced enough yet to be able to code some of these things out. First of all, this white hole, as it is placed in your world, is going to be the only one that black holes can actually teleport you to. You can't have multiple white holes around your world. Well, you can, but black holes will only teleport you to the first white hole placed in the world. So I'll demonstrate that now. I place down a black hole, I go inside, and as you can see, I teleport to the white hole. If you take exotic matter out of your hand, however, this process doesn't work whatsoever. You absolutely need exotic matter. It's absolutely imperative to be able to traverse Einstein-Rosen bridges like that. Now, white holes work in every single dimension. You can have one in the nether, in your nether hub, for example, and then a black hole in each and every one of your bases, so that you can all very quickly traverse there. If you wanted to, they also work in the end. Yeah, they're really cool. And also, to make sure that they work in every single dimension, they simulate the chunk that they're in. So you also have a permaloader, if that's your thing. At least I think you do. There is something which I tried to fix, but again, I'm just not experienced enough yet. As you can see, when you place a white hole on the ground, then it has a little bit of shading underneath. But when you place it in the sky, it's got no shading whatsoever. It looks a little bit like a black hole, just, well, white. I much prefer it in the sky, if I'm to be completely honest. But yeah, another property, I guess, of the white hole is that you can pass straight through it. That's not really a surprise because you can do the same with the black hole. Most of their features are the same, and actually, excuse the Discord ping, I plan to add more features to this white hole next update, which will probably primarily be like bug fixes and whatnot. Okay, but enough about the major features. There are quite a few sort of minor features as well. You'll notice that black holes and stuff have two-dimensional inventory icons now. They previously, well, couldn't be found in the creative inventory for a start, but when you hold them, they'll be three-dimensional, like the block when you place it down. I didn't think this made a lot of sense, so I changed it, and now they are two-dimensional, so you can much easier see what their sizes are. In case you're wondering, using the give command has a bunch of options that are a bit weird, really. So you've got the antiparticle, exotic matter, and particle, but then you have the block and the item of every single size. And clearly, I'm trying to force you to get the item, but you can also give yourself, for example, the R8 black hole block, and that would also work. I haven't assigned it a name, so it will just use its translation tag with the tile dot namespace id dot name format. But they function absolutely the same way. So I don't think you're getting any buggy behaviors out of this. It's just, I couldn't get rid of these in the give command. Secondly, these items can be used in furnaces. Just a unique little thing I wanted to add. It's not like you're really going to use them because obviously they deplete, but they do work. It takes 25 minutes for a black hole item to go completely, which is the longest in the game. And the lava bucket was outside of this add-on. The lava bucket takes the longest at 1,000 seconds, but yeah, the black hole takes 1,500 seconds. So in case you want to use black holes for fuel in your furnaces, you can do that, but beware that you can't get your black holes back once they are gone. There are a few basic other features, such as the fact that these black hole items, as well as the particles and antiparticles, as well as the exotic matter, I think, can't be destroyed by explosions, as well as, I think, not despawning as well. So they resemble the Nether Star in that sense. Yeah, this update is huge. I've added a lot of new things in the update, and lots of people are as passionate about it as I am, which is lovely to see. If you want to go and pick this up, you can follow the link in the description below, which is mspdl.com/black-holes-add-on. The same page as where you went to last time. It's just updated and formatted differently. Yeah, nothing really much to say on this. I really hope you download it and try it out yourself. Super interesting playing around with this, and I plan to add, of course, many other features in the future. There should be a bug fix happening soon, probably, where I change the hitbox sizes and stuff like this. But for now, thank you for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.